Good day, sir. Good day, everybody. My name is Jimwell Deramas from BIT2Y at ngayong topic po natin, ididiscuss natin ang throttle position sensor at ang kanyang operation, purpose at ang kanyang construction. Bago ang lahat, ano muna ang throttle position sensor? Throttle position sensor in automobiles, the speed of the engine can be controlled by varying in the amount of fuel and air supplied to the engine. For this throttle system is used, previously a mechanical linkage was attached to the throttle pedal by which the butterfly valve of the throttle system was controlled. When the driver hits the accelerator cable, the valve used to open wide which causes high flow of fuel of air, thereby increasing the speed of the vehicle. In modern automobiles, the throttle position sensor is used for this process. This, this sensor is used to monitor the position of the throttle valve in the vehicles. It can also be viewed as the potentiomet- potentiometer, which is provide variable resistance depending upon the position of the throttle valve. Pag-usapan na natin ang kanyang purpose. A throttle position sensor is used to measure how open the throttle valve is and therefore controls the amount of air which can flow into the engine's intake manifold. A throttle position sensor or TPS is used to monitor the throttle valve position in internal combustion engines. TPS is usually located on the throttle valve spindle so that it can be directly monitor its position. The TPS sensor is a potentiometer, providing a variable resistance depending on the position of the throttle valve, and hence throttle position sensor. The sensor signal is used by the engine control unit or ECU as an input to its control system. The ignition timing and fuel injection timing, and potentially other parameters, are altered depending on the position of the throttle valve, and also depending on the rate of change of the position. Some throttle valve modifications are built in edge switches. They are closed throttle position sensors (CTPS) and often include a wide open throttle or WOT sensor which is mounted on the accelerator pedal. Throttle position signal can be produced from a simple contact TS or a potentiometer TPS, and also combined TS-TPS sensor. Some systems use both types as separate elements. Within a motorsport engine or the engine of any vehicle, there is a throttle valve. The throttle valve opens when the accelerator pedal is compressed. A throttle position sensor is used to measure how open the throttle valve is around and therefore controls the amount of air which can flow into the engine's intake manifold. The throttle position sensor is mounted into the throttle body and measures the opening and closing movements of the throttle valve, and these are transmitted to an engine control module. This information, as well as other measurements, including temperature, engine RPM, and mass airflow (MAF), are used by the engine control module to determine the amount of fuel being injected into the engine and the spark timing. Ang next naman natin pag-uusapan ay ang kanyang operation. This sensor is usually mounted on the throttle body. It senses the position of the throttle bar or butterfly valve and transmit the information to the engine control unit. This sensor monitors how far down the accelerometer pedal is pushed and gives the output current determining the position of the pedal. The position of the pedal controls the airflow of the engine. If the valve is wide open, a large amount of air is supplied to the engine and vice versa. The output given by this sensor, along with other sensors, is transmitted to the engine control unit, which decides the amount of fuel to be injected into the engine accordingly. TPS gives to the onboard controller information about the idling, the acceleration, rate of acceleration, and fully open throttle valve state WOT. TPS is a 3-wire potentiometer. On the first wire, a voltage of positive 5 volts is applied to the sensor resistive layer, and the second wire closes the sensor circuit to the ground. The third wire is connected to the potentiometer wiper, thereby the changing the resistance and hence the voltage of the signal returned to the onboard computer. Based on the received voltage, the onboard computer can calculate the idling below zero point 0.7 voltage, the full load about 4.5 voltage, and the opening speed of the throttle valve. At full load state, the onboard computer provides the further enrichment of the fuel mixture. In the acceleration mode, closed throttle valve in the engine speed above 13 rpm. The onboard computer shuts off the fuel injection. Fuel supplies is resumed after engine speed reaches its idle value or when the throttle valve is open. Some cars allow adjustment of these values. Last is the construction. While there are many different types of throttle sensors, there are only two types of throttle position sensors, which is potentiometer. In a switch-based throttle position sensor, the switch is always and provides a continuous current of electricity while the throttle is in use. When the throttle is in not use, the switch is off and does not allow electricity to flow. A potentiometer, however, sends a very low voltage to the ECU. When the ignition is on but throttle is off, it then increases the voltage as the throttle is increased, usually reaching the peak of 5 volts when the throttle reaches its maximum. Where to find a throttle position sensor? Throttle position sensor can be found virtually anywhere, especially in automotive supply stores or the automotive section of any supermarket such as Walmart. They can also be purchased directly from automotive repair shops or the auto shop can purchase it from. Third-party auto insurance companies often know where to find a good deals on throttle position sensors, although additional research comparing rates and reputation can be done online. Applications. Although throttle position sensors are almost exclusively found in internal combustion engines, they can perform several different tasks. For example, some ECUs can electronically control the throttle position and use the throttle position sensor as a feedback loop to do so. This type of ECU are typically found on the drive-by-wire systems. Throttle position sensors are also found in the other devices, such as remote control vehicles and other devices that uses throttle. Last, what is the importance of a throttle position sensor? Without a true throttle position sensor, there would be no way for the engine control module to monitor the amount of fuel needed or be able to time the ignition effectively, causing the engine to surge or stall. This can be very dangerous for the driver and the other road track users. That's all for my reporting number 8. Thank you, sir, and thank you everybody for spending time watching this video. I hope you learned something new about throttle position sensor, and I hope you guys are safe.